Hey, this is the World Advice Channel too. What I want to talk about today is the question of is Western civilization on the verge of collapse? So when it comes to answering this question, that's been brought up time and time again, if it's on the verge of collapse, is America the next Rome, and so on and so forth. The simple answer to that question is yes. Western civilization as a whole, not just America, but North America, Europe, and all those places are on the verge of collapse. So when it comes to um, knowing why they're on the verge of collapse, here is the reason why Western civilization is on the verge of collapse. Okay, now there's different reasons why Western civilization is on the verge of collapse. Um, you know, but one of the main biggest reasons why it's on the verge of the collapse, um, is simply down to first and foremost all the political division that makes up our society. Because for our society in the Western world, okay, we are now extremely divided based on what party you support. Left wing, right wing, it's extremely divisive. This whole issue, okay, because the political system, in the media, of course, as a whole, specifically the media, is stupid. So they take things that literally matter to people, put it on both sides of the spectrum so it encourages political division. Just like, for example, you want to learn how to defend yourself, by having guns, because there's a lot of really bad people in this world. You're a right winger now, okay? But at the same time, you might also be someone, or I should say, you have another issue, like for example, you want actually to live in a world where the climate is not terrible, and we actually resolve global warming. Now you're a left wing person, okay? And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. They take issues that are important to everybody and that actually literally just about the majority of people can agree unanimously on, yeah, these are rights we should have, and take those rights and put on both spectrums, and they just pretty much say pick, choose which one you want to be, because they're stupid. But anyway, aside from that point, for that matter, okay, back to the point I was trying to get across here, to be quite blunt and honest with you, the truth of the matter is, for that matter, okay, when it comes to answering that question, to be quite honest with you, answering the question I want to ask, the first thing, I should say what I was getting at before is, yeah, political division. Political division is absolutely the reason why we are in the state we are in this world today. Political division is the reason why a lot of people in this world are not talking to each other anymore, who were once great friends or even relatives for that matter. It just caused a lot of problems. It caused a lot of chaos. It can cause riots and even wars, for crying out loud. And it just, obviously, the biggest thing it prevents happening is actually getting shit done that needs to be done. Okay? Because obviously, if you have all this political division on both sides, and you have a party that's voted that only cares about rights in this area, or a party that's voted in this way that's only cares about rights in this area, you know, or I should say more like issues instead of rights, but you get the point. Like, you're gonna have a situation where nothing really truly gets resolved. And that's the truth of the matter. And that is exactly the reason why, you know, the world is going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. Now, is it a guarantee the world's going to collapse? No, not necessarily. Anything in the world is unpredictable because we literally decide the future. There's no perfect way to decide a future, actually. You can be close to it, but at the same time, you can also, of course, no surprise, believe it or not, also be able to, of course, realize that things can change because people have the ability to have free will. So things can ultimately change. So in short, no, there's no guarantee the world is going to collapse or anything like that, or anything like that. But with the way things are going, more like, is what I'm getting at here. And with the political division, it's definitely contributing to that. So that's my first point. The second reason why I think Western civilization is on the verge of collapse, um, aside from that issue, is one that is definitely won't be as controversial as the last one I'll mention after this one, but is definitely up there of the controversy, is the economy. The economy of the world is not doing that well, and everything is becoming more and more and more expensive as the world is in a bad state as it is. And because it's in such a bad state, a lot of people are not having children, and stuff, which obviously can contribute to making the state of the world even worse. Because if people are not having any children, for crying out loud, then we're going to have. So, yeah, like I was saying before, obviously, the truth of the matter is, to be quite blunt and honest with you, um, you know, if people, like I was saying before, are not having children, and people in general are not really even doing anything, like they have this big issue in China, Japan, and even North America, where people just flat out refuse to do any work because they're like, the system is rigged, there's no point in doing anything because everything is so expensive, and I could go get a good quality education and all that type of stuff, and I still have to, of course, no surprise, have to pay a ridiculous amount of money, you know, for college and your university, whatever I decide to pick, and then I try to get a job and I can only work at a low end job, then what's the point of even doing it? Why not just stay home and have fun and post videos and comments on YouTube and all that type of stuff to enjoy myself? That's how people think. And that's what I'm trying to say. So that's another reason why I think Western civilization is on the verge of collapse, let alone the world. But Western civilization, of course, is going to take the brunt of it the hardest, in more recent time, because the price of living is just ridiculous here. Okay, so that's my second point. And the third point, which I think Western civilization is on the verge of collapse, you know, with the way things are going, is simply down to the fact that we have AI technology. Now, this, even though this is something that a lot of people support, it's also something absolutely a lot of people hate, for that matter. Okay, actually, more like, for that matter, most people hate it. Okay, and this is what I said was going to be a divisive issue for my last point, and it sure as hell is a divisive issue. Some people are for it, some people are against it. Even though the majority of people seem to be against it, the people who are for it are really for it. So, in short, to put it bluntly, in all honesty, to be quite honest with you, the truth of the matter is, since, as you already know, this is a very divisive issue, for that matter, not many people are going to want to hear this, um, but it's true. AI is absolutely going to screw up things up, for that matter, okay? Because a lot of jobs are going to be gone. And of course, when people don't have those jobs, whether it could be working in, retail stores, or, or even being able to express themselves, whether it could be through terms of entertainment, whatever. Literally, for any skill you can imagine, you know, AI is going to take over. Even for YouTube videos, for crying out loud, they're trying to figure out a way for it to take over. The question becomes, then, what is going to be the use of people anymore? So in short, when it comes down to that question, what is going to be the use of people? Obviously, we're not going to have something that can make people make money. So that's going to obviously cause a lot of riots, a lot of problems. And people might say, well, there's a way to resolve it, but what's the way to resolve it? The people who run this world are like that. They want to make sure they can save as much money as possible. So if they can save as much money as possible, for that matter, why do you think they're going to actually make an exception here? And that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here. That's what I'm trying to get across. They're not going to make an exception or say, oh, we will not pick these certain jobs because people will need them. They're not going to do any of that stuff because they want to save a quick buck. So in short, civilization absolutely is on the verge of collapse. It is undeniably on the verge of collapse. There's going to be a lot of riots, a lot of problems in the foreseeable future. So all I can say in general is just do your best, enjoy your life. Hopefully things can change, but the direction things are going, yeah, there's going to be a lot of problems, for that matter. So if you're curious about this question, hopefully I answered it for you. And this is all I have to say. And for this video, and just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put them out. So bye.